Born in San Francisco, Debby McClatchy is a renowned American traditional folk singer and frayed banjo player. She is known for her deep knowledge of Appalachian and old-time music. Homemade was her first album, and it was released in 1974. It is widely considered a time capsule of 1970s folk, ranging from California's gold rush history to her deep appreciation for Irish traditional music. Released on the Fretless label, it also includes musicians Kenny Hall, Alan Kaufman, and Bill Ochs. The record itself is a mix of originals and covers, of course. I know what you're all thinking. What the living heck is a frayed banjo? Turns out it's one of these. Please subscribe and throw down a music-loving like. Take it away, Debbie.
I've heard all about the tune, it's called the Alabama Moon, but the Mississippi moon is just as bright. And I can't forget the time when I asked you to be mine. The moon was shining on that happy night, and you promised me then you would wed me in June. That's why I love the Mississippi moon. The Mississippi moon is shining down tonight. Our love just seems to fill the air. The whippoorwills are flitting in its mellow light, calling to the loved ones there. Won't you stroll now with me down the dear old lover's lane, where nature seems to softly croon? Our hearts will be so bright as we wander there tonight underneath the Mississippi moon. Many years have passed and gone since I met you there alone, but tonight I'm thinking just as much of you as we did when hand in hand we wandered in that magic land, and you gave your pledge to love each other true. Come and go now with me to that spot in memory and see again the Mississippi moon. The Mississippi moon is shining down tonight. Love just seems to fill the air. The whippoorwills are flitting in its mellow light, calling to the loved ones there. Won't you stroll now with me down the dear old lover's lane, where nature seems to softly croon? Our hearts will be so bright as we wander there tonight underneath the Mississippi moon. The mother lode is a rugged land of mesquite diggings and sky, and where men meet they talk of the day when the Yuba River ran high. They tell of a man named Red Dog Sam and his partner You-Bet Bill, who found the greatest strike of them all at the bottom of Gold Run Hill. It's dreams of diamonds and silks and horses, whiskey and women and pearls. Why, we have all we need and all that we've wanted from the bottom of Gold Run Hill. But Red Dog Sam was a greedy man that night while Bill lay asleep. He ended his life with a fishing knife and rolled him in Yuba Creek. Next morning at dawn he rode for the town to register his claim. But when he tried to return that night, he was stopped by the driving rain. It rained, it thundered, it sleeted and hailed from Tuesday to Saturday night, and Red Dog Sam was stuck in the town till the dawning of Sunday's light. It's over the mountains and down through the valleys to the claim and memories of Bill. But the greatest strike of them all was gone from the bottom of Gold Run Hill. For Yuba Creek now was a lake, and for miles it covered the land. Bill's bones and the gold will lay there together, and Sam's a mighty lonely man. People will always remember what's called the good old days, and present paths are never as good as past and tried true ways. Well, it must be so, for I remember my life was better then, when I was young and growing up on San Francisco Bay. I remember San Francisco without the high-rise walls, and views of the harbor's lazy haze. Crab boats bobbing on the bay weren't hard to see at all. Oh, I once spent hours in cable cars passing homes of gingerbread, and living there was like living in some travel books I'd read. Well, the air was fresh and clean and clear, it should be that way still, but now I watch the yellow smog wash up the Berkeley hills. I remember San Francisco without the subway line, and as the concrete canyons grow, you'll soon wonder if you'll ever know if this is San Francisco at all. I remember San Francisco without the high-rise walls, views of the harbor's lazy haze. Crab boats bobbing on the bay weren't hard to see at all. Ah, San Francisco, your beauty is growing dim. The cable car is most all that's left from a time of different men. Well, the subway trains bring the crowds to work in cubes of glass, and how long till the sterile malls eat up the squares of grass? I remember San Francisco without the filled-in bay, and now I watch the leisure towns being built on the old marsh grounds where birds woke up the day. I remember San Francisco without the high-rise walls, and views of the harbor's lazy haze. Crab boats bobbing on the bay weren't hard to see at all. All the men who build the subway lines and pyramids of glass, well, they tell us that the times must change, we can't live in the past. Well, they call it progress and say that it has to be. Well, they call it progress, I call it making money. I remember San Francisco when Sally used to laugh And as the steel beams start to grow, you will finally know this isn't San Francisco at all. I remember San Francisco without the high-rise walls, views of the harbor's lazy haze, crab boats bobbing on the bay weren't hard to see at all. So fare thee well, my Donegal, the Rosses and Widor. I'm crossing the main ocean where the foaming billows roll. It breaks my heart from you to part, where I spent many happy days. Farewell to kind relations, I am bound for America. Oh, then, my Mary, you're my heart's delight, my pride and only care. It was your cruel father would not let me stay there, but absence makes the heart grow fond, and when I am over the main, may the Lord protect my darling girl till I return again. I wish I was in sweet Dungloe and seated on the grass, and by my side a bottle of wine, and on my knee my lass. I'd call for liquor only of the best, and I'd pay before I would go, and I'd roll my Mary in my arms in the town of sweet Dungloe. Then gather round and listen, I want you all to know. Oh, what became of Maggie and California Joe? They left old Mad Jack's cabin, packed all the cart would hold, and it's off to California and a searching for the gold. They settled down in Marysville in Sierra Mother Low, a booming mine shack city built where the Feather River flows. They built a home of logs and stone where the river starts to wind, and Joe worked running buckets in the Little York hydraulic mines. Just before the first snowfall, Maggie bore a little girl. They named her Faith, and Faith became the center of their world. 10 years passed and Faith grew strong in her piney mountain home, and everyone in Marysville felt Faith to be their own. Oh, Joe was second foreman, he still worked in the mines, and he often said to Maggie, I'm worried about springtime. Slickens are always rising, the bottom's up 5 feet. If this year's snow is heavy, then we're in for a lot of grief. I've tested out the river every springtime we've been here, and just as I've suspected, it's risen every year. I've spoken to the manager, he won't give me a chance. All the owners are for profits, and the owners live in France. That winter was both cold and long, the woods were choked with snow, and with a thaw the Feather grew to a swollen, raging flow. And as the swirling waters hit the mine above the town, well, the slickens were so heavy the water had to move to higher ground. 46 million cubic yards of gravel, muck, and mud turned the peaceful Marysville to a 15-foot-high flood. And high above the city, Joe found his Maggie safe, but none of all the neighbors there had seen a sign of faith. Oh, she'd gone down to the river to find flowers in the snow, and Joe, I could not find her when the river overflowed. I searched, I cried, I called her name, but I heard no return sound. Then the waters got so very high, I had to move to higher ground. Oh, Maggie dear, don't fret, don't mourn, I'll find our little girl. I can't believe that God above would take so sweet a pearl. He has so many treasures, I know we'll find her safe. And the very next time you see me, well, I'll have our darling Faith. All the neighbors gathered there, searched far into the night, and up and down the flooded town were boats with bobbing lights. And as the first shell, pink and gray, brought promise of the dawn, weary searchers went on home to bed, but Faith had not been found. Oh, 2 days passed, hope grew dim, there'd been no sign at all, and many friends gave up the search as the waters began to fall. There'd been so many loved ones lost, the toll was mounting high, but why should Faith, so young and strong, been chosen then to die? Joe searched and sieved and cursed the mines and mourned all he had lost. The gold they found was worthless now, they'd paid too high a cost. And as the night brought darkened hopes, he knew the time had come. He climbed the hill above the town and blew up the Little York mine. Oh, all the neighbors came to watch, the sky was lit by fire, and all the world grew warm and gold as the flames leapt even higher. And from the dark into the glare, a small form crept alone. and someone shouted, "Joe, come see, your faith at last is home." Oh, Daddy, I'd gone down to find some flowers in the snow, and then a mighty water wall pushed me on down below. I caught and held a sturdy log, I prayed I would not drown. Well, we floated down for miles and miles, for I could reach some higher ground. At first I thought, I can't go on, I cannot even try. But someone whispered close at hand, "I'll save you or I'll die." Since then I've walked through snow and mire, my strength was fading fast. That voice kept me from losing hope, and now I'm home at last. Now hoses, pumps, and buckets are gone from Marysville. They passed a law in '93, the mine is ever still. The men went back to panning and digging for the gold. Well, the family is together, and my story has been told.
Jump on board, dear listeners, because we are revving up the engines and barreling right on through to the second side of the sucker.
Have you seen Old Forrest lately? Have you seen Old Forrest lately? He lies in the diggings, lonesome and cold. Well, there are no more old men to tell stories of the gold. I've not seen Old Forrest lately. Once gold filled the streams of these Sierras, there was always work in the mines. There were 17 saloons on Main Street. You were young, you were strong, and you never felt alone. How well you remember those times. Then you told me how the hydraulic hoses laid waste the land for the gold, and the big businessmen took over the mines, and there wasn't any room for a man out on his own. That was the start of all these hard times. Have you seen Old Forrest lately? Have you seen Old Forrest lately? He lies in the diggings, lonesome and cold. Well, there are no more old men to tell stories of the gold. I've not seen Old Forrest lately. Now age is too heavy a burden, and your friends have all gone one by one. There's now only old Danny Pans by the river, but though his hopes are high, well, the taking's ever smaller, and past hopes won't feed him tonight. Have you seen Old Forrest lately? Have you seen Old Forrest lately? He lies in the diggings, lonesome and cold. Well, there are no more old men to tell stories of the gold. I've not seen Old Forrest lately. Ah, she walks along Fitzgibbon Street with an independent air, and then it's down to Summer Hill and see all the people stare. She says it's nearly 1:30, I'll go in for another one. Sure, the heart of the roll is Dicey Riley. Ah, poor old Dicey Riley, she is taken to the stuff. Ah, poor old Dicey Riley, she will never give it up. It's off each morning to the papa, then she goes in for a little drop. Sure, the heart of the roll is Dicey Riley. Long years ago, when men were men and favored May of Blong, or lovely Becky Cooper, or Maggie Mary Wong, one woman put them all to shame. Only one was worthy of the name, and the name of the same was Dicey Riley. Ah, poor old Dicey Riley, she is taken to the stuff. Ah, poor old Dicey Riley, she will never give it up. It's off each morning to the papa, then she goes in for a little drop. Sure, the heart of the roll is Dicey Riley. But time went catching up on her like many a pretty horse. It's after you're along the street before you're out the door. The balance weighed, their looks all fade out of all that great brigade. Sure, the heart of the roll is Dicey Riley. Ah, poor old Dicey Riley, she is taken to the stuff. Ah, poor old Dicey Riley, she will never give it up. It's off each morning to the papa, then she goes in for a little drop. Sure, the heart of the roll is Dicey Riley. Oh, one fine summer's morning, as I was walking all down by the banks of some clear flowing stream, there I spied a fair maiden making sad lamentation, and I drew myself in ambush for to hear her sad complaint. Through the hills she marched along, may the valleys did ring, oh, and the small feathered songsters around her head they flew, saying the war is all over and peace is returning, but my Willie's not returning from the plains of Waterloo. I approached this fair maiden and said, my fond creature, well, may I make inquiry as to what's your true love's name? For I have been in battle where the loud cannons rattle, and by his description, well, I think I know the same. Willie Riley's my love's name, he's a hero of great fame. Although he's gone and left me in sorrow now, 'tis true, but no man will me enjoy but my own darling boy, even though he's not returning from the plains of Waterloo. If Willie Riley's your love's name, then he's a hero of great fame. He and I have been in battle throughout many's long campaign. Through Italy and Russia, through Germany and Prussia, he was my loyal comrade in France and through Spain. Till alas, then at length by the French we were surrounded, and like heroes of old, well, we did them subdue. We fought for 3 days, till at last we defeated him, that bold Napoleon Boney, on the plains of Waterloo. On the 15th of June, it been ending the battle, leaving's many a gallant hero in sorrow to complain. Where the drums they do beat, and the loud cannons rattle, it was by a Frenchman's bullet your young Willie he was slain. And as I drew near to the spot where he lay a-bleeding, well, I scarcely had time for to bid him adieu. And as he lay a-dying, these words he kept repeating, "Fare thee well, me lovely Annie, you are far from Waterloo." When this maiden she heard all this sad lamentation, well, her red rosy cheeks they grew pale and woe for one. And when he heard the sound of her sad lamentation, well, he drew her in his arms and said, "I am your loving one. See, here is the ring that between us was broken. In the midst of all dangers it reminded me of you. And now this young couple, they are reunited, and no more will Willie battle in the plains of Waterloo." I don't need a ceremony to know that we are wed. I don't need a man of reading words, share your home and bed. I don't need a piece of paper nor a golden wedding band. I just need you to love me, to be my sweet, sweet man. All people move, people change a lot. There's no use to deny that the ways that went in Grandma's time don't best suit you and I. So let's live our life now day by day, no thought to the end. And if we part, we know we've gained from being best of friends. I don't need a ceremony to know that we are wed. I don't need a man of reading words, share your home and bed. I don't need a piece of paper nor a golden wedding band. I just need you to love me, to be my sweet, sweet man. All the wise men said to follow your own heart through every day, for you need a peace within yourself to help others on their way. So let's live our life now day by day, no thought to the end. And if we part, we know we've gained from being best of friends. I don't need a ceremony to know that we are wed. I don't need a man of reading words, share your home and bed. I don't need a piece of paper nor a golden wedding band. I just need you to love me, to be my sweet, sweet man. I just need you to love me, to be my sweet, sweet man. pulled into Creed last Monday morning. Joined a game down at the bar. Met a girl of green and laughing eyes. Wished I'd known then not to go so far. Don't want lace upon my windows. Can't see no way but being free. I knew the time had come to leave there when she said she'd follow me. There's nary a road I would not go with you, not a way I would not ride. From the long green run of El Camino Real to the high, wide reach of the Great Divide. Oh, sign me up, put my name down. Cattle need another hand. Going to lose sight of that lady while I'm still a single man. Don't want ties upon my life now. Can't see no way but being free. I knew the time had come to leave there when she said she'd follow me. There's nary a road I would not go with you, not a way I would not ride. From the long green run of El Camino Real to the high, wide reach of the Great Divide. I'm going down to see Durango. There's a man there said he'd hire me. Stay away from green-eyed ladies. Don't want none of them to follow me. Don't want arms around my waist now. Oh, riding double, you can't be free. I knew the time had come to leave there when she said she'd follow me. There's nary a road I would not go with you, not a way I would not ride. From the long green run of El Camino Real to the high, wide reach of the Great Divide. Oh, from the long green run of El Camino Real to the high, wide reach of the Great Divide.